Hello and welcome to Who It Could Have Been, where we take a look at famous actors or actresses who are up for a big role, but for one reason or another, they didn't quite get it. Whether it been better, worse, or just plain stupid.
Yeah, kind of like that time Demos auditioned to be Sweeney Todd's razor sharpener.
I was a cut above the rest.
But... No!
See, those were the kind of puns we tried to avoid in our Edward Scissorhands review.
Yes, they definitely are not on the cutting edge.
Quite from it. So obviously, we're going to be talking about Edward Scissorhands. If you haven't seen a required viewing of it, check it out. It's a lot of fun. But we did talk quite a bit about Johnny Depp's interpretation of this quite unique, leather-clad, crazy role. But can you imagine... somebody like, I don't know, Tom Cruise playing Edward Scissorhands?
You're not serious.
Tim Burton did meet with him. The studio wanted him, but there were creative differences. Apparently, as legend has
it... You think?
Tom Cruise had a lot of questions, like, how did he survive up there without eating? Is he immortal? Etc., etc. He had a big problem with the ending. He wanted a happy ending, not the poignant ending that Edward Scissorhands had. That, for somebody who is as creative as Tim Burton is, I can see the friction forming there. Tom Cruise... I like Tom Cruise. I think for his capability, he's great in a lot of films that he's in. This might be a silly way of looking at it, but just picturing his face on Edward Scissorhands, his features, that big-ass smile of his... on a visual level alone, it just doesn't work for me at all, let alone the changes he was requesting.
I'll put it to you this way, buddy. Like, when you said that, the first thing I thought of is his head isn't tall enough. Like, listen.
He might be the right size for the part.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, I'll put it this way. The moment you said Tom Cruise, I'm like, I'm glad he got cut loose. Anyways, no, but God, what a horrible fit.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have given him crap about his portrayal of Lestat in Interview with the Vampire, but I buy him in that role 1,000 times more over than I can ever see him as Edward Scissorhands. Once again, I'm not saying that he couldn't do it, but just it wouldn't be as an effective a film, because once again, one of the things that, as mentioned in our review, when I think of Johnny Depp's roles, Edward Scissorhands isn't one that immediately jumps to mind because he disappears with the exception of the eyeshadow. He disappears into that role and emotes so much. You get so much out of this character for somebody that only says like 126 words in the whole thing.
I think the closest you're going to get, if it's even possible, is a non-expressive Jim Carrey. And now, granted, maybe you got to put him under like 3 bottles of Xanax a day for that to achieve. But I think that's the closest you might get. Johnny Depp is uniquely qualified to do that movie, okay? You're saying I'm not saying he can't do it? Listen, fine. I'll be the heretic. BS Demos. That Mickey Fireball could not do it.
Perhaps I'm being too kind, but Jim Carrey actually was on the list of names that were considered for it,
No way.
A bunch of names that were considered. Robert Downey Jr. was considered. Even Michael Jackson, who wouldn't even have to put on any makeup outside of the Scissorhands.
Yeah, but if he does one of his famous dance moves, that would be depressing.
Oh my gosh, imagine the moonwalk with the Scissorhands. Oh my gosh. Well, at one point, early in development, Tim Burton did envision Edward Scissorhands as a musical. And
I can see that.
I can actually see Michael Jackson pulling that off, but I cannot imagine the character of Edward Scissorhands singing.
You have all of this music, and you have these bands, but look at me over here. I have Scissorhands. Oh.
Congratulations, you've changed my mind. You'd be horrible.
Hater. Still better
I love
than
Michael
Tom
Jackson,
Cruise,
but I've seen Moonwalker.
Still better than Tom Cruise.
If they keep him quiet for most of the film, you could pull it off very well. He could have. The other...
I'll say this before you move on. Michael Jackson's speaking voice is perfect for the role.
It is. And I easily see him in the leather. I can see him playing it.
Well, that point, I mean, him in the leather, that's typecasting. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, at that point. Another actor that was considered, but he turned it down to do Bonfire of the Vanities, was Tom Hanks.
No. It's not. No.
And this was in the between phase from his comedies to his dramas. So right after The Burbs and Volunteers, but before Forrest Gump in Philadelphia.
He would have been better than Tom Cruise. I'll leave it at that.
I agree. On a different angle, as many people know, and we didn't speak on this actor as much in our review, so this is our opportunity to talk about Vincent Price, who this was his last major film role before he passed away. Apparently, they cut back a lot of his scenes because he was having trouble on set, and apparently even fainted on the set from the heat from the lamps, which supposedly is his collapse in the film when the character, spoiler alert, dies, him passing out. Vincent Price, God bless him, he was originally intended to play the role of the Inventor, but logically they had a backup plan in case he couldn't do it. Could you imagine Leonard Nimoy as the Inventor?
What?
Would that be logical, Kyle?
I can't even say that the mindset of one who would think this is fascinating. I can't do it. Like, it's not fascinating. It's just effing dumb. Leonard Nimoy? Really? I mean, for whoever's thinking that is in search of casting talent. Like, what?
Vincent Price fits into the tone of the picture because of who Vincent Price is. Though he is a big name, it doesn't take you out of the film. Leonard Nimoy, as much as I love Leonard Nimoy, I think he's a very underrated actor. I've liked him in things beyond Star Trek. I think would have taken me out of the movie. If you were going to pick, oddly enough, if you were going to pick a classic Star Trek actor to play the Inventor, I'd go as far as original TOS. I'd probably say DeForest Kelley, the Doctor.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a barber. He's got really big, kind of scary looking eyes. It kind of works.
I can buy him as a mad scientist.
Sure. I mean, Bones kind of was at times on the Enterprise. Let's not act like that dude didn't get a little creative.
I don't think Vincent Price can be replaced by any of the names that we mentioned. But could you imagine this alternate version of Edward Scissorhands that some dimension has this version with Tom Cruise as Edward and Leonard Nimoy as the Inventor?
No. Tom Cruise and Leonard Nimoy, a pairing I could do without. You know who the Inventor should have been? Okay, Bruce Campbell. There you go. No, the Inventor the backup should have been Tim Curry, bitches.
Hang on. Now I'm thinking that, I'm against remakes in general, but if they were ever to remake Edward Scissorhands, just replace the scissors with chainsaw. Edward Chainsaw Hands starring Bruce Campbell.
Approved.
I will completely make the exception. Tim Burton, get on this.